So today we're just going to get right into it, and we're going to talk about the dangers of vacant homes when seniors move out of them. So when a senior moves either to a smaller home or a assisted or independent living scenario, right? Sometimes that home can remain vacant for a while. And many families assume that's fine, right? But there are some hidden dangers and costs to leaving that home vacant. Welcome back to my channel, Table Talk Real Estate, Family and Legacy. My name is Eric Martin. I am a real estate advisor here in the Sarasota, Florida area, helping families like yourself with that senior transitional move and trying to retain and keep as much wealth within the real estate and the family as possible. So let's get back into why leaving a home is probably not the best idea. And one is insurance issues. Okay. Some insurance companies require the home to be lived in, right? It requires it to have somebody there, all right? If it comes down to that it's been vacant or left alone, right, and something happens, they could possibly deny a claim. So it's best to check with your insurance company, the homeowner's insurance or whatever type of insurance you have on it, flood insurance and things, and make sure that they are eligible to still have that insurance and leave that home vacant for a while. All right. Maintenance becomes a problem when people do not live in the home on a regular basis. So water's not getting ran through the pipes. Things aren't being noticed, like leaks from the roof, right? Mold in hot climates, especially like Florida here. If you're not running the air conditioner efficiently, it could create black mold. I know that it happened to my mother-in-law's rental she had. Pest issues, again, if nobody's living there, just somebody living there alone is enough to keep pests out 80–90% of the time. But if there's nobody home, they can infiltrate into the house, start taking over, getting into the walls, getting into the roof, the ceilings, and create a really bad situation, right? Security risks, all right? I know of a few homes here in Florida that were vacant that squatters got in, and it was difficult to get them out. So you don't want that happening, right? You'll have break-ins depending on where you live in the country. Copper is a big deal. So they will break into your home, steal all your copper pipes, and if the water's running, they don't care. So when you come back, you have 3–4 feet of water in your basement or within your house because they just stole all the copper and went. Okay. Vandalism is another thing. If you the home is vacant for a while and kids find out, sometimes the kids will get in there and use it as a little headquarters for themselves, have parties and things, and most of the time the neighbors don't even know they're doing it because they do it at night when they're all sleeping. All right. Storm damage. This is a huge one for Florida, right? We all know we get hurricanes throughout the year. We've gotten lucky, I'm knocking on wood here, that it remains that way. But storm damage, you have the winds come through, you have the rain come through, it can damage roofs, it can damage pool cages, damage trees, drop trees on homes, all right? And so if you're not there to see or check in on the home and they go unnoticed, they can create another big issue. And again, if you have to go through your insurance company and they find out that the home is vacant, they could technically say, nope, sorry, we're not gonna pay this out because there's some little line clause in line 7A-4B, right? So you definitely want to make sure that if you're living in if you do have a vacant home that's going to remain vacant for a shorter period or a long period of time, that if there's a storm coming through, that you're checking on that house. All right. The other thing, and I think this is the most important thing, is the financial drain, or what we call carry costs, right? And carry costs are property taxes, carry costs are insurance, utilities, maintenance, um, HOA fees, anything that requires money to run that home is a carry cost. And depending on where you are in Sarasota, with HOA fees or condo fees and things, that could be a hefty yearly carry cost. And it could be, $2,000 to $3,000 a month to carry that home, maybe even more. But just figure, on an average of $2,000 to $3,000 a month, you're talking $36,000 to $40,000 a year just to hold that home. In my eyes, it's not worth it. If your senior adult, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, whatever, need to move out of that home, but you're not in the situation to where you need to sell it, your best bet, honestly, is to rent it out. Rent it out in either 6-month increments. So if after 6 months you decide you need to sell it, it's not a problem. If you want to retain that renter, you can just write another 6-month contract, or do a month to month, depending on the scenario and what you want. But at least if you have somebody there, the rent will cover the carry costs. If you have a very, very good tenant, they will keep the property up. They will make you aware of things that are going wrong before they get bad, and almost kind of help you maintain the property without you having to be there. All right. So, in short, with that, all right, having a plan ahead of time of what you're going to do with this vacant home is a must. All right. You have to monitor the property. All right. So, if nobody's living there, you have to have a neighbor or a friend that is willing to go over and check it out every once in a while, just to let you know that everything is fine, or hey, look, I've noticed this, I've noticed that. All right. And you need to make decisions sooner than later. All right. So if something is noticed that's wrong, roof leak, a leak from a pipe or something, you need to get on that like ASAP, because if you don't, 1 week turns into 1 month, turns into 3 months, and before you know it, your little leak in your ceiling is now collapsed drywall from the ceiling, and now you have to replace the whole roof, drywall, and everything, where it could have been just a $300 patch. Okay, so I understand that sometimes it's unforeseeable and it needs to happen. But your best bet is, when you realize that your elder is having to move out of that home, all right, is to start to put the plan in place of what you're going to do, whether you're going to rent it, whether you're going to sell it, or whether you're just going to keep it and see what happens, or for whatever reason, maybe you have a family member that might move in or whatever. Understandable. Okay. But you need to have a plan. And that plan should, if you're looking to sell, include myself. All right. Especially in the Sarasota area, I can help you put together a plan. Does not mean that it has to be thought on and worked on right at that moment, but things change, and things change quickly. You need to be able to react and get on it. All right. So once again, I hope you enjoyed this video, got something out of it, and will be able to take this information forward and, hopefully let other people know. All right. But Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will see you next week.